So which are the parties which are involved in this section? So there could be a payer and there is a recipient. The payer can be a person who is a resident but who is other than an individual and HUF. Such person are not covered under section 194 IB. A resident who is an individual or HUF is covered under section 194 IB provided they are not liable to tax audit. And a non-resident payer is also covered under section 194 IB. If the recipient is a resident, he is covered under section 194 IB, but if he is a non-resident, he is also covered under section 195. That means he is not covered under section 194 IB. What is the rate of TDS? The rate of TDS is 5% of such income by way of rent. So if the rent is 5 lakh, the rate of TDS will be 5%, which is 25,000. Or it will be 20% if the PAN is not provided by the recipient. Now the TDS has to be deducted at applicable rates, which is 5% or 20% if the amount of rent exceeds rupees 50,000 per month. What this means is that if the rent is, let's say, 40,000 per month, then it is not covered under this particular section. If the rent is 50,000, even that is not covered under this section. But if it is 50,000 plus, even if by 1 rupee, then it is something which is covered for the purpose of this section. However, the amount of TDS by application of provision of this section shall not exceed the rent which is payable for the last month of the previous year or the last month of vacancy. What this means is, suppose you have a payment which is, you are paying someone rent of 20 lakh per annum. The TDS which is to be deducted is, let's say if the PAN number is available, 5%, which is 1 lakh. What is the monthly rental? The monthly rental is 20 lakh divided by 12, which could be how much? Let's say somewhere around 1,66,667. In this case, the amount of TDS which has to be deducted is less than the amount of rent which is payable for the last month. But in case this TDS was greater than the rent which was payable for the last month, the TDS will be restricted to this amount which is payable for the last month. In other words, let's say if the TDS which is to be deducted is 2x and the rent for the last month is x, then in that case the TDS which will be deducted will be only x and it will not be 2x. When is TDS required to be deducted? The TDS has to be deducted at the time of credit of rent for the last month of the previous year or the last month of vacancy, or at the time of payment, whichever is earlier. Now when you talk about last month of vacancy, what this means is, suppose a person has taken a premise on rent from April to March. If he takes it for a period of 12 months, then the rent will be payable for the last month, which is March. But if he takes the premises on rent from April to, let's say, December, and he vacates the property on 1st of January, then in that case the last month of vacancy will be December, and therefore the TDS will be deducted at the time of credit of such rent, which is the rent for the month of December. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, you can subscribe to our channel to stay updated on more such videos. You can like these videos and also share it with your friends. And if you're looking for material on this particular subject, you can visit us on our website at www.arinjayacademy.com.